Penn, do you find that people's, like, when they talk like that, like Piers Morgan talking about a fear like that, aren't you afraid that doesn't it boil down to the fear that you are irrelevant and you will not be part of what happens in the future?
He's our guest.
Anthony, you missed part of the conversation, Jimmy. I'm sorry.
All right. What are you doing?
I said make believe you're Jim Norton.
It's funny you walked in the middle of that. I have no idea what we're talking about.
Einstein said, it all comes down to if you believe the tree is still there when you look away.
Okay.
That is really, to me, the difference between, religion tends to be, and there's obviously exceptions to this, it tends to be completely self-centered. I believe this and therefore it's true. The atheist point of view just is there's a world out there without me. I'm not in the center of it. And it always makes me laugh so much when people say, atheists are so arrogant. And I always go, we aren't humble like someone who thinks that there is an omniscient, omnipresent God watching over them all the time, every little thing going perfect for them, and cares desperately when they masturbate. We are so arrogant, we think that we're living our own lives and love the people around us and do the best we can, and the universe is not all looking at us for every little move we make, and we won't live on forever at the right hand of an omnipresent being. That's the kind of arrogant pricks we are.
Wow.
We think we have to work hard for what we do and not just drop to our knees and pray. Not that dropping to your knees is not hard work, Jim.
It certainly
we know
is.
what you do for your career.
Absolutely. Especially when that young lady has a dress and a good bulge. What am I, rude?
It really is amazing that people need. They need that.
I don't know if they do. People always say that.
Don't you think?
Did you see the latest numbers? The number of people that said they were non-religious as recently as the end of the last century. 1998, 99. The numbers were hovering around 1%. People that said they had no religion, 2%, 3%, way down there. The latest polls, and not like a nut poll, not like my poll, but like, a CNN major poll, 20%, 22%, 23% no religion. If you go to under 30, it goes to 30% no religion. If you called atheism a religion, which is like calling not collecting stamps a hobby, but if you were to call it that, it is the fastest growing religion in American history. I mean, that whole...
What is that attributed to, would you say?
Well, I say, very sadly, I think a lot of it had to do with 9/11. 9/11 was a faith-based initiative.
Exactly.
9/11 was people who, and I want to say this carefully so I'm not misunderstood, but the terrorists, the criminals, the sick people who did that, I think may have sincerely believed that what they were doing was right. And that is the biggest horror. That is a much bigger horror than Charlie Manson. Charlie Manson knew what he was doing was wrong. The fact that kind of, and the amount of the 3,000 people who died is the biggest tragedy in American history on American soil. But on top of that, the people who continue to die because of those religious fanatics. And I think a lot of people who were before that closeted atheists or closeted non-believers.
Right.
Atheist is a word that scares people, but just didn't have religion. We're finally willing to say, no. I know that a lot of my friends just said, I will not allow someone in my presence to talk about religion without saying, I don't believe in that, because we've got to stop crazy shit like this from happening.
Yeah, don't you think science has something to do with it too? Like as science becomes more, like people have always needed something, like when we were just fucking chimps, it was the sun, or it's always something higher than us. And I've heard.
Now, when you say when we were chimps, you mean the people in this room, not humanity.
Oh no, yes, I mean actually the four of us. I'm talking about.
I remember that kind of vaguely.
Yeah. It wasn't chimp. It was just throwing shit at each other to be silly. But they called us chimps, and we accepted it.
Where are most atheists coming from? Like, do Muslims become atheists?
Well, Ayaan Hirsi Ali Jan Hirsi Ali, the wonderful writer who went from being a Muslim to atheist and has a fatwa on her ass still. I mean, she's as bad off as Salman Rushdie, and sometimes I get emails from Jan Hirsi Ali. We write back and forth through anonymous mailers and all of this because, and she'll say, maybe if I get to Vegas, I'd love to come meet you. And I'm kind of go, well, I support you completely in what you're doing.
We could Skype.
Maybe I don't want to have lunch.
Yeah, let's Skype.
Have a Skype lunch.
But are Muslims turning to atheism as well?
Not as quickly as we'd like.
That's what I'm thinking. It's more of a
that's that. But what we're finding is the U.S. has always been one of the most religious countries on the planet, and that is kind of going away. You've got the extremists, the fanatics are still there, but a lot of what would have been called liberal Christians and liberal Jews are now calling themselves non-religious, and it's what I was doing a lot of work for charity stuff, and someone asked me, why do you do all this charity work? And I said, I'm doing God's work because God isn't going to.
That's great.
That should be on a poster.
We really have to. We really have to help each other.
Without
we're all we have.
Now, without any, but you can totally spin that without any of this spiritual repercussions that religion drills into your head. Why do you do nice things? Why do anything?
Well, the question you're asking is the positive version of a question that I get asked pretty often, which is, if there's no God, what's stopping you from raping and killing anyone you want to?
Nothing.
And my answer is nothing. I have raped and killed everyone I want to, and that number is 0. What the fuck is wrong with you? What is your list? How many people are you going to kill? How many people do you want to rape? Because really, if my wife just kind of says, I'm tired, I'm automatically turned off, let alone rape. I'm not pulling out a gun or a knife. So they say, what's stopping you? And I go, what's making you want to? You fucking sick fuck. Here's my list of everyone I want to rape. Right here.
Blank paper.
Here's my list. Here's my list of everyone I want to kill.
It's another
right
blank
there.
paper.
That's it.
Yeah.
I don't have a fucking list. And these people at a book signing will raise their hand and say, I say, could you please have security around that guy? Because we're in a bad position now. He has a list. And if I convince him the correct truth that there's no God, maybe he'll go down his fucking list. Maybe he should stay religious. But the thing is that the reason we help each other is because helping other people is the reason we're fucking alive. It's the reason in our hearts that matters. It's the best feeling you can get. It's another reason that I'm a libertarian. When I give money, and a lot of money or a lot of help or a lot of time to charity, I feel better than almost anything else I do in my life.
Right.
When the government puts a gun to my head and says, we're going to take this money from you and use it to help people, I feel like shit.
Right.
Because first of all, I want to show that I'll really do that on my own. And second of all, I don't like a fucking gun to my head. And third of all, I don't trust those motherfuckers to get the money where it belongs.
Yes.
They can't even run the fucking post office. FedEx whips their fucking ass. What makes them think they're the ones who can deliver food to AIDS patients?
Right.
I can do a better job on my own.
You could do it. They got a skim going on fucking in the government. They absolutely are taking so much money to do anything.
How do you fuck up the post office?
Yeah.
Look at Kickstarter. Okay.
Yeah, nice.
The National Endowment for the Arts, the NEA. The money they get from the government, they turn about, I forgot the exact number, but it's somewhere around 80% of that money ends up going to the artists. That's pretty good. Kickstarter, 99% of the money, and they've done more funding, and people have chosen it. People have chosen to say, hey, that looks like a cool movie. I'll give these guys $50 to make their movie. What could be more beautiful than that? With Kickstarter and PayPal and Twitter, fuck the government. We don't need them. We're done. We got it covered. And with all the people giving from their hearts and helping people and giving charity, we don't need God. We can take care of each other.
But the government has, again, that gun
The
that
gun-
they
the
do
whole-
put
the
to your
gun's a big
head,
thing.
so they force you to do that.
Great way to put it.
With atheism, I'm not sure if it's true or not, and I don't think, as you said, atheism has been a part of American history long enough. But do you think that, given time and enough people doing this, that there is almost this feeling of hopelessness, nothing to work towards except death, that would kind of bring everyone down in a way
there's nothing to work for except life. It's religion that's this death cult. It's religion that says after we're dead, we get everything. Atheism is the celebration of life. It's a celebration of people. It's a celebration of hearts. It's the most beautiful thing in the world. And with all due respect, you're wrong. In the end of the late 19th century, the three most popular speakers, the superstars on the Chautauqua circuit, the speakers were Robert Ingersoll, atheist; Mark Twain, atheist, both speaking about atheism, and Huxley talking about evolution. Was very, very popular. And Ingersoll, the great atheist of that time, was invited to the White House because at that time you didn't use the word Christian as much. You used each little sect. So there was the Southern Baptist against Dave's Baptists, against Bill's Bake Shop and Baptists, who all were afraid that if someone got into power, they'd force their religion. So having an atheist on your side looked really good. Then the socialists came in, adopted atheism, and fucked everything up.
I want to ask you about libertarian, too, because I like the libertarians a lot. I like what they believe. They lost me on one point, though. Like John Staliano, Buttman, was a huge libertarian.
Yeah, sure he is.
And, when he was being targeted, and it was costing him like $2 million in legal fees, and they were trying to ruin him, libertarians, he said, walked away from him, and nobody stuck up for him. And I know porn's a tough one for any political party.
I stuck up
for
him.
No, you, but not the party.
My good friend Bob Corn Revere was part of his legal team, and I helped put that together.
No, not necessarily personal guys, like guys that are
the Libertarian Party.
As a whole, they didn't stand up and say, you're targeting this guy, and this is a personal freedom.
They don't speak out as much as they should about that. But once again, a libertarian is not one block. It's a bunch of individuals. And my feeling on freedom of speech, including Fred Phelps and all those crazy people picketing, I'm a total freedom of speech guy. I think the answer to bad speech is more speech.
Right.
It's always more speech. The worst stuff people say, just say more.
The thought that people actually want to shut people up and stop them from saying something because they're offended by it is so just pompous. It's like, you don't think the stuff you're saying annoys people?
Also so dangerous.
Yes.
Keeping that stuff in a pressure cooker is just insane. We don't want the American Nazi Party underground. We want those assholes talking where we can see them,
I'm on here every day from 6 to 10.
But it's really an important thing. I think, I feel less comfortable with somebody with their finger on the button to cause war that believes in a peaceful life after death than someone who believes that this is all we've got.
Over.
This is all we've got at the end, and that all we have is love in each other. I don't know, this whole idea that not believing in God leads to depression seems to me insane. The glory of the life that we have now, the love that we have now, and the fact that people who are suffering are not going to get something better down the line, we better help them now.
Well, that's just it. It almost seems like if you don't have an end game except for the end, if there isn't somewhere another step up, another level up, that everything you do seems futile.
Not futile, beautiful. I don't know why. I don't know why you need more. You are the most amazing numerical aberration that ever. The fact that you are here, the fact that you're living,
the chain of events that had to take place
is astonishing.
Ridiculous.
To get you here. Right. You've won the lottery. You've won the biggest fucking lottery that could ever be won in the universe. And then you get up in the morning and look at the sunshine and look at your friends and your family who love you, and you want fucking more. Fuck you. You greedy motherfucker.
But what about, and I agree with you, but what about the people who have a kid and the kid has cancer and then again, that's playing devil's advocate, or they have terrible lives, girls that are growing up abused and raped by a father, terrible, and for them to realize this is all there is, sometimes for some people that may be the only thing that keeps them going is, I had this child who died when they were 4, but I'll see them again someday. As opposed to the ugliness of this is all there is.
Did you tell Susan Boyle she was beautiful, gorgeous?
No, but I said my mother loves you.
Yeah, there you go.
Chip said that to her.
My point is, yes, there is bad stuff in the world, but that does not make something else true.
Right.
And
of course.
it just means that we're responsible for helping. You know, I some of the charities I work with in Vegas, like Opportunity Village, work for people with intellectual disabilities, and tries to get them back into the workplace. Some of those people have, rather bad lives, and there's a bunch of really good people trying to make those lives better. But I don't think that you can make the judgment this other person would be happier if I lied to them.
No, I don't mean that.
Condescending.
What I mean is I understand why they feel, because we're saying
it gives them some hope.
I could see why what that means to somebody. I'm not saying we should tell them it's true, going. But I get why they would say, I think there's something after this that's better, because what's here is absolutely terrible. And if you're helping, it's a good place to be. Right. But if you're the person who needs the help, it's not as easy to reconcile that.
If you believe in that, what's the wrong with that? Well, is what you're saying.
Or I just see why they want why they have it.
Yeah.
What the wrong with that is 9/11.
Yeah.
That's what's wrong with that. What's wrong with that is the idea that people can believe what they want without fact-checking with the rest of the world means if you let the person there, what harm are they doing to believe something that's not true? You have to. If you condone that faith, you have to condone Charlie Manson. And you have to condone the terrorists. Because all they've got to do is prove to you that they have that faith in their heart and it helps them, then they can do whatever they want. No, the truth does matter. The truth really does sincerely matter. None of us have it. We have no idea what it is. All of us are wrong on everything all the time. But let's not give up on trying to get better.
But the behaviors, I agree with you, the behaviors of religious people, fanatics, are reprehensible.
Yep.
I'm not talking about doing anything.
But it all starts with condoning the faith. When you say, well, it's okay to believe that, what harm does it do? We have to say, it might not be true. You need to look at this a little more because you might be stopping someone who's on their way to fanaticism. Also, you need to respect people enough to tell them the truth as you see it.
I don't know if that's my place to do that,
but
though.
do you have an
it's not your place to tell them they're wrong, but it is your place to tell them what you believe and what you know.
But say you have absolute proof that it is not true.
No, you can't. You can't. But you can on the way say, that's not the way I see it. What I am arguing with is very simply smiling and nodding. That's all I'm arguing with.
Right.
I'm very happy with going, I can see why you see that, but here's why I don't.
Right.
Just so we're getting the dialogue going. It is an extension of freedom of speech.
Sure.
So you're not completely convinced that
there's no way.
See, I'm glad you said that because we just don't have enough knowledge.
But like my dear friends, and I have a lot of them who are evangelical or who are Mormons, they believe that belief is active. That you can't just say, I'm not sure it's not true, but you actually have to believe. I do believe belief is active. I don't have, right now, and I might in a minute, I can't predict the future. I don't right now have an active belief in God. Gotcha. And therefore, if you ask me what I am, the answer is atheist. I did not answer the question by saying there is no God.
Right.
I answered the question by right now, this second, Penn Jillette does not believe
I'm relieved
in God.
you said that.
Yeah. No, it's very different.
We'll never have all the knowledge.
And we don't want it.
Right.
Then all the fun's gone.
Right. But it is possible that there's a scientific reason that we have that belief, which
There
I think
absolutely
is going away as science proves more and
There
more.
absolutely is.
Our need for, and I raise Africa. People that are born into those fucking horrendous living conditions where their clits are cut off, there's zero hope for them.
Well, no. But their clits are cut off because of the fucking religion.
But I mean those people. I know what you mean, but those people, biologically, there's zero hope. So for them to live accurately, there's zero hope.
Right, but we can give them more hope by not fucking cutting their clits off.
Yeah,
and we
I understand
do that by saying, the Muslim thing, a little dingy, might want to stop it.
Yeah.
Stop cutting the clits off. Be good thinking. Thank you. Genital mutilation, maybe you shouldn't be doing it till you're grown up and at a club where it's done safely among adults.
But religion and its effect on this world through history has been so huge. There's no way of of stopping it?
I mean,
yes,
it will go
there
away
is.
eventually. I think it will go away.
So.
It is going away wicked fast.
It just seems like this innate need that people have to believe in something greater than
I believe there
themselves.
is. I believe
it's almost primitive.
I think it was called by somebody the transcendental seduction. You know, you want to feel that,
right?
But wanting something and having it be true are two different things.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think you can feel. Also, there's some people who will say that that atheism doesn't have the awe and wonder of the universe. Well, atheism has nothing but awe and wonder of the universe. When you say, "How did the world get here?" I don't know. That's big, wonderful,
That's a lot of
full
wonder.
of awe. When you say, "Oh, God created it in 7 days," oh, all right.
Oh, damn
and
it.
the nutty thing is, they talk about atheists not having, imagination to accept all this.
Mm-hmm.
The creation myths that are created by, let's say, Christianity, the Garden of Eden, Adam and Eve, my 7-year-old daughter can think that up. Black holes, supernovas, that kind of shit. It takes string theory, the Hadron Collider, the boson, the Higgs boson. All that stuff is really hard shit. The real stuff is so much weirder, so much cooler, so much crazier, so much deeper, so much more beautiful, and it's true. I mean, you've got everything over on this side. On this side, you've got Adam and Eve 7,000 years ago ate an apple. They're sin. We're fucked forever. We hate women. So long. Good night. Over this side, you've got we don't know, but on the way, we got fucking black holes and wormholes and the speed of light, and we got shit we can't. We got wasps that can like look at like other wasps. We have octopuses that can change their color in order to communicate with other octopuses. And by the way, octopuses is the plural and not octopi. Fuck you. I'm done.
One last question about it. Are you scared to die?
No, I don't want to. But I have no fear, and I answer again.
How do you get to the place where you have no fear?
1909.
1909.
1909. How frightened are you in 1909?
Yeah, I don't know.
You weren't here.
Yeah, but I'm scared to die like anyone else.
I know, but you weren't here in 1909.
Right.
You won't be here in 2109.
That's kind of creepy.
Yeah, it's exactly the same. Yeah. But you aren't afraid of all the past. Why would you be afraid of the future? You're not going to be here. You're not going to make a difference, but you might be remembered a little bit by people.
Because you think the world's just been waiting for me to be born.
I know. And some omniscient, omnipresent, omnipotent.
How dare you go on without me?
Omnipotent creature cares about nothing.
You know how many beautiful sunsets
and the stuff you think.
Do you ever try to wrap your head around how many beautiful sunsets people will see way after you're dead?
And they'll even get more beautiful because of the pollution makes the colors pop.
That was fascinating.
Yeah, it's just I think it's great. It's a great take on things. I'm not a religious guy at all.
No.
I wouldn't consider myself an atheist because, and you said it yourself. But, you don't know.
No, but you actively believe. Do you pray?
No.
Do you actively believe?
No.
I'm sorry, but you're an atheist.
Sorry.
End of story. It's done.
I hope, though.
I meditate.
Okay, that's a whole different thing.
I meditate.
I mean, many atheists meditate.
I love meditation.
Yeah.
Isn't
Sam
hope
Harris
a sort of faith? Huh? Isn't hope a sort of faith?
I don't know.
Hope for things to go certain ways.
You don't actually
things
actively.
That are beyond my control.
And the other thing is, with atheists, during sex, you talk to the person you're with instead of God.
Oh,
Isn't that a great idea?
Yeah,
now I'll tell you, though, if you don't remember her name, go religious right away. Oh, God, oh, God, oh, God. It solves everything. And that may be the creation of all religion.
Who wants to talk to the person you're fucking? That's not fun. I like to pretend they're anybody else.
Susan Boyle.